the airline estimates that nearly 500,000 passengers have been impacted so far. That's a lot of customers. For more on how travelers are reacting to the ongoing strike and the disruptions this is causing, let's bring in CB24's Melissa Duggan, who's inside Pearson. Tell us about the stories, I should say the horror stories you're hearing today, Melissa.
Yeah, so exactly, Lena and Andrew, we're talking about those 500,000 people that have been affected so far. Everybody has a story. They want to go on their summer vacations. They want to connect with family. Maybe it might be a business trip. Everyone has their kind of like individual perspective in this moment, and the frustration that they're going through to figure out, okay, how do I make any of that happen? Is there any chance I could make any of that happen? I just happened to run into Jacqueline here inside Pearson Airport. She was talking to people at an Air Canada booth and was walking away, and I said, do you think you could talk to me and tell me your story? And she's like, oh yeah, I have a story that I would like to share. Tell me where you're headed to right now, and are you going to be able to make it there?
Well, I'm able to make it there now, but I'm not sure about my return now, so that's off the table right now too. So I have to go again to Air Canada, many desks, and find out if I have a return ticket to actually get home afterwards, because now I have to go back to my job eventually as well. And I was going back for a ceremony for my husband's remains were being brought back to Bulgaria, so I'm just trying to make it to Bulgaria. And I have friends and family waiting for me there. But so far I've been to the airport. This would be my 4th time coming here. Yeah.
I'm so sorry for your loss. Obviously, this is a tough thing to go through on top of everything else at the moment. Yeah. You're telling me you've been back and forth to Pearson 4 times from Pickering, where you're from. And you've also been talking to me about some of the communication you've had with Air Canada. You've been on the phone. You've been talking through email. What's happening there?
You can't get a hold of anybody on the phone. It's literally a recording that hangs up on you. It doesn't give you the option to wait for an operator. You have no option. I've called at 4 a.m. I've called at 6 a.m. It's the same story with everybody that was lined up this morning with me. Now I'm here again. I'm hearing the same stories. Nobody can get in touch with them. Even email was bouncing back and saying they didn't get the email. I emailed the CEO of the company. I emailed their group's email. I've tried every single email I could find online, like for every single person in the company that I could possibly, but no answers, nobody returns. Like the only person that did, or the only people that did, the only group that actually got back to me was the group's booking, who told me sadly they couldn't help me because they're for groups bookings, not for individual bookings. But to actually get in touch with somebody about your individual booking, it brings you back to the website over and over again, which is completely useless, because when they did actually say that I had a booking, nobody emailed me, nobody text messaged me. If I didn't check my bookings regularly on the Air Canada app, I wouldn't even know that they had rebooked me, which is a sneaky trick too, because then I had a bad feeling. So this morning I thought I'm going to show up here very, very early and speak to somebody, because I called Lufthansa and they said, you don't actually have a ticket. And I said, what do you mean? They're sending me this confirmation that I do have a ticket. They said, no, you don't. No, you don't. You better go talk to Air Canada. Call Air Canada. Again, you can't call Air Canada. So I showed up again this morning, went to the counter. I was given the runaround again. Yes, you do. It's showing you right there on your app. I said, your app means nothing to me when the airline says I don't have a ticket in the system. I said, I'm not showing up here at 4 p.m. and having to deal with it then right before my flight. They said, okay, don't worry. You do. It'll be taken care of. I said, it's not being taken care of. Somebody needs to do something. Luckily, I found one man that would actually help. Took my passport, took my information, went in the back, did something to the ticket to actually activate the ticket. And if you don't do that, apparently you don't actually even really have a real ticket. So make sure you have a real ticket, obviously. If they're saying you do, you might not. So he did something, it activated. I do have a flight there now, but somehow, miraculously, my return is gone. So that's the other issue. Now I have no return flight, but I bought it as a package from Air Canada.
Okay.
Yeah, so
now you've got to figure out how you're going to be coming back home. And is Air Canada saying anything to you about your return flight? When's it booked for?
The desk can help me. It's for the 29th. They said go back to the desk that the guy that originally helped me. Yeah. If he's still there, I don't know. Yeah. Go back all the way to the 15th, aisle 15, and see if they will help me. And see if they can help me bring up my booking back, or just go on my vacation. The Lufthansa was saying, just go on your vacation and worry about it there. I said, no, I won't get a hold of anybody once I'm there. I don't know when they'll be back answering the phones. I don't know when anybody will actually. So I can't take the risk and get on this plane now still. Yeah. Still, I can't get on because I have a job to come back to at the end of this, right? So.
Okay, so your ordeal isn't over yet. Jacqueline, thanks so much for sharing your story with us. People might be learning from this too. There are probably people watching this while they're on hold right now with Air Canada. sending out those emails as well, wondering if they're going to hear anything back. So that was Jacqueline's experience, and certainly we're hearing from a lot of people around here. You know, they've all had this kind of individual sort of trek to figure out how they're going to be able to get somewhere. Then, as we heard just there, how they're going to be able to get back. For now, Lena and Andrew are going to throw it back to you.
What a mess. Total mess. All right, Melissa Duggan live at the airport.